Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline at PixieDustPhD. I'm recording this on Friday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. That does make this the month 60 creator update. That's 60. We have been doing this for 5 full years. There has been so much news in the past month or so. We're going to hit highlights on that, and then we will talk about stats, analytics, and revenue for this past month, as well as lifetime of the channel. Because there is just so much news to cover, I think I am going to take the year 5 stats and sort of yearly reflections out of this video. We'll make that a separate video, so look for that coming hopefully soon. I just didn't want this video to become an hour long with all these things combined, so with that, we'll take the year 5 stuff out, do that separately, and let's go ahead and get to that news. On the Disney Vacation Club front, there were 2 bits of news I wanted to mention, and both are DVC cruises. The proper 2026 member cruise has been announced. This is 7 nights on the Disney Dream. You will have 2 days in Denmark and then also a day in Stavanger, Norway. So that's 7 total nights, 3 sea days, and it leaves from Southampton, England in August of 2026. You do not need to use points to book a single passenger, so if you want to pay full cash, that is an option. Bookings open up March 22nd at 10 a.m. Eastern. The second cruise for DVC is a first wave river cruise through Adventures by Disney. This departs in June of 2026 and is 7 nights sailing the Rhone River in France. And notably, Brett Iwan, the voice of Mickey Mouse, will be on board this first wave river cruise. Now, this is not a member cruise, it is a first wave sailing, but again, they have waived that requirement that one person be booked on points, so my understanding is everyone could be booked on cash should you want. Bookings for this begin February 18th at 9 a.m. Eastern, so just a couple days probably from when this video is posted. As with always, if you are booking a DVC first wave sailing or member cruise, there's a bunch of information you really want to have on hand before you call in, and note that the delays will be pretty bad, most likely on the phone line. I'll leave links in the description below for you to reference if that's something you're interested in. Moving on, Hong Kong Disneyland is celebrating its 20th anniversary this summer with the most magical party of all. This will feature a parade called Friendtasmic, which is a daytime parade that's the largest in the park's history. There's also going to be a new daytime castle show. The promotional pictures released for this are super cute. It's really Jacqueline coded in my opinion, like pastel fun. I love it. I definitely will not be making it out there for that, but if you are, I hope you have the best time. Let's transition to Disneyland Resort news, so Disneyland out in California. Pixar Putt, the Putt golf experience themed to Pixar, is now at the Pixar Place Hotel and will be there through June 1st. This was actually in Washington, D.C. while I was living here, and we looked at it, but the prices were just bad. I just couldn't justify it, so I don't know, it seems really cute. Maybe the prices are better at the Pixar Place Hotel, but here, that was a no-go for me. For the 70th anniversary celebration, we recently learned that the last verse of It's a Small World will be added to the ride in Disneyland. However, this won't kick off until the actual birthday on July 17th, so even though the anniversary celebration begins in May, you'll have to wait a couple months to get that last verse on Small World. Similarly, the new animatronic show for Walt Disney is going to be delayed until July 17th. I think previously we were under the impression that it would open with the 70th anniversary in May, and that's being pushed back to the actual birthday of the park. Still at Disneyland Park proper, over in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, a new projection show called Shadows of Memory, a Skywalker Saga, is coming. Specifically, this new projection show will start with the Season of Force on March 28th. I did not see an end date though, so it looks like it may extend past the Season of Force itself. And do know that this new projection show is fully separate from Fire of the Rising Moon. Fire of the Rising Moon still will be offered on select nights, but I think probably both offerings will happen on those nights. And in further Star Wars Galaxy's Edge news out in Disneyland Resort, the Droid Depot is going to stop taking reservations. Beginning March 17th, you can just walk up and build your droid. So far as I can tell, there's no such change happening to the Droid Depot version out at Walt Disney World. And we got a lot of news about the hotels in Disneyland. This certainly isn't all of it, but here are a few highlights. The Pixar Place Hotel is adding 2 new 2-bedroom premium suites. One will be themed to Coco, and one will be themed to The Incredibles. The interiors are probably going to be amazing, but the guess for the price tag is a little scary to me. The Grand Californian rooms, including all of the rooms at the villas at Grand Californian, so the VGC side, the DVC side, are confirmed that they're going to be getting a refresh. And Napa Rose, the fancy restaurant inside the Grand Californian, is also getting a refurbishment to its interior and an extended patio. So Napa Rose will actually be closed for quite a bit. We don't have exact dates as of yet. It looks like they were still taking reservations through March last time I looked, and then the statement said that it would be opening back up in the fall. So I think you can pretty safely bet it will not be open for the summer. Is it going to be open for like April, May? TBD. And over at the Disneyland Hotel, that hotel is getting a new concierge lounge, the High Key Club. Lots of fun, either new or reimagined spaces coming to all of the hotels out in Disneyland. Moving over to Walt Disney World, we've got a change up again in the Lightning Lane Premier Pass product. So when this debuted, it was locked only to Villa and Deluxe level on-site guests. And then at some point they expanded that to be any on-site resort guests, so value through Deluxe. And as of now, any Disney guest, no matter where you're staying hotel-wise, can purchase Lightning Lane Premier Pass. The standard timing applies, so if you are an on-site resort guest, you can purchase that 7 days in advance. If you're an off-site resort guest, you have to wait until 3 days in advance of your park entrance. They dropped that update to the Lightning Lane Premier Pass program, of course, pretty soon after I dropped my video going over perks for on-site guests. So now the only perk related to Premier Pass for on-site guests is just timing. You can just buy it earlier, which for most times of the year won't really matter, but definitely for peak times, if you're going over major holidays, honestly, being able to buy it 7 days in advance might mean the difference between being able to buy it at all. And since EPCOT's Festival of the Arts is kind of winding down at this point, we are getting news about the next festival, Flower and Garden. The Garden Rocks concert series lineup has been released, and we learned that there will be new topiaries this year for Moana, Maui, Heihei, and Pua, and the Phineas and Ferb topiaries are coming back. I'm very excited to see, not with my own eyes, but pictures on the internet, the Pua topiary. I love that little pig. Over at the Animal Kingdom theme park, the new baby tiger xoxo did make his public debut. Super cute tiger content all over the internet if you're into that. And if you like animals, side note, the National Zoo here in Washington, D.C. did recently debut our new giant pandas, so also a lot of good, cute internet content there, especially since it's been snowing lately. Animals in snow content is some of my favorite. But back to the Animal Kingdom theme park, we did learn that the It's Tough to Be a Bug show in the Tree of Life Theater is closing permanently as of March 17th. This is to make way for the new Zootopia show. I believe that means the last day of operation for It's Tough to Be a Bug is March 16th. So you've got about a month left to enjoy that show. And speaking of closings, moving over to Hollywood Studios, obviously there's a lot of change-ups happening there. The last operating day for the Mama Melrose restaurant will be May 10th. And the last operating day for Muppet Vision 3D and Pizza Rizzo's is going to be June 7th. And while we did get this news, we still have no timeline on the Muppets Rock and Roller Coaster retheme. So a lot kind of TBD there still. Moving over to the boardwalk area, Jellyrolls is set to close its current location. We don't have timing for that yet, but supposedly it's going to remain operating into the spring season. And there was strong implication it would be moving somewhere else. Where that else place is to be determined. Let me know where you would put Jellyrolls 2.0. I think Disney Springs would make a lot of sense, but there's a lot of area outside of actual Walt Disney World resort property that I'm not familiar with, and something like that may make even more sense. And the former Galactic Starcruiser space is being converted to office space for Imagineering, so kind of a letdown. I think a lot of us were hoping it would turn into a restaurant or a daytime experience or something that the guests could access. Also, obviously, I can't imagine what the actual literal Imagineers are feeling about this. I would be not stoked to have that be offices, because it feels like something they probably poured a lot of their heart and soul into that, like, Disney just couldn't market in a way or price in a way that made it successful more long term. I don't know, it feels like a little bit of a salt in the wound situation. Also, doesn't that building have no windows? Like, are they going to redo it enough to where it's an office space anyone wants to show up to? Or are they going to keep it like space themed? Is everyone just going to sit in their offices in a guest room and have like a space window? I don't know, it's a bummer. And from the guest perspective, I'm definitely sad that the skeleton of the Galactic Starcruiser is not being used for something more exciting. In the last bit of news I wanted to touch on is about the Disability Access Service Program. So previously you had to wait until 30 days to your trip to do the pre-arrival registration attempt, either for Disneyland or Walt Disney World. That window has now been bumped out to 60 days, so you can try to take care of this 2 months in advance. I also am aware that there is a Disability Access Service lawsuit that was filed. Many of you have asked for my comment, and my honest assessment is that, pretty quick into the document they used the wrong HIPAA acronym, so I don't have a lot of faith in this. And of course, I would rather more people receive the accommodations that they need. That being said, the Disney Corporation General Counsel sure does seem pretty confident in the way that they are operating. And I am absolutely not a lawyer, and I'm not a HIPAA expert in all these things, but I've worked in this space in higher education before, and I really don't think that the lawsuit has legs, personally. But we'll see where it goes. And finally, before we get into stats, revenue, and analytics, I do have a quick ask of you. I know that many people find the Disney Vacation Club availability videos helpful, and that's awesome, but it's such a big, wide swath of everything. I would really like your input. So if you have any specific requests or any feedback, I definitely want to hear it. The past couple I have done in a more casual manner. Is that something that is fine with you? I've been toying with the idea of maybe just making those live streams. That would probably honestly take an hour and 15 minutes, maybe an hour and a half. I end up cutting out quite a lot of time because the dang DVC website crashes all of the time. But would you join a live stream, or would you be interested in watching a live stream playback that's a little bit messier and less edited than what I upload now? Do you prefer that things are organized by resort, or do you want them organized by room types, like all of the studios and then all of the one bedrooms? Would you be interested in smaller snippets, so rather than cover like all of the DVC resorts or even all of the Walt Disney World resorts, what if we just did one video that was like, let's take a look at the next 11 months at the beach club. I definitely want to keep making these and being helpful to the community, but I kind of am just like throwing darts and seeing what sticks. And if you have direct feedback for me to hone in, I would really appreciate it. And with that, let's go ahead and move into analytics then for month 60. I pulled these from January 11th through February 10th. We posted 7 proper videos in this past monthly period. There were 2 DVC availability videos as well as the last monthly creator update. Then there were a couple of vlogs from our October 2023 trip. We kind of did a review. We talked about the pros and cons of the split stay we did from that trip. And then of course we talked about the 2025 perks for on-site Walt Disney World resort guests, which is already a tiny bit outdated. And prior to this video posting and counting in the next monthly period, we did also do a Sanaa lunch vlog. Which, by the way, if you've been, let me know what your favorite part of the bread service is. Everyone always just says bread service, but I definitely had like highs and lows. For members only content, we did an update on my Disneyland trip where we mostly talked about dining, but we did a little bit of a sketch as well. And then there was a Disney World / Disney Vacation Club update, of which I won't say more because it will give away too much. If you're interested in some of this extra content, I give it to folks who are monthly subscribers over on my Ko-fi. That's $5 a month. There's a link in the description below for you to check it out if you're interested. Here is the top content from month 60 sorted by views. So you can see the top 2 were actually DVC availability videos, which partially is why I asked that question earlier, because I really want these to be useful for you all. And then we've got the typical smattering of other DVC videos, room tours, and Walt Disney World focused content. 5 of these videos were posted this past monthly period, and honestly, the monthly creator update getting over 200 views in a month seems a bit abnormal. I wonder if it's because everybody loves Bluey. Is everyone so excited for Bluey to be coming? Anyway, in total, we got just under 8,000 views in month 60, and this came from just over 5,000 unique viewers. Nearly 1,000 of those were returning viewers, so thank you so much for coming back to the channel and interacting, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, ringing that bell icon to receive notifications, commenting, sharing with friends. All of that is super, super helpful. And big thanks to all of my monthly Ko-fi members. Right now that's Tara, Judy, James, Coco, Amy, Tiffany, and Michelle. James, I know you just did a larger one-time donation, so I know you're not quite in the monthly cycle yet, but mentally I'm counting you. I really appreciate this extra support. It means so much to me. In total in month 60, we got just under 650 watch hours and just over 100,000 impressions, with 47.8% of those impressions coming from YouTube. And overall, there were 20 new subscribers to the channel. Looking at lifetime analytics, we're now at just under 380,000 lifetime views and a little over 24,500 watch hours. It's pretty wild to say 24,000 watch hours out loud. The channel is almost at 4.2 million impressions, with 40.3% of those impressions coming from YouTube, and overall we are now at 1,946 subscribers. So doing some reflections, this month compared to last month was stellar. It was so much better. We had over 200 more watch hours this month compared to last month. And both the impressions from YouTube numbers and the percentage not subscribed numbers were way improved month over month. But of course, we had a killer month in all the stats except for maybe the one that matters most. I mean, it's definitely one of the top 3 stats that matters most, which is subscribers. So we had 20 new subscribers this month, which is fine. It's not great. It's definitely way down from last month. And even last month was kind of like where I would like to be at average at the lowest end. I say this all the time. Ideally, I would prefer to get like 1.5 to 2 subscribers a day, so 45 plus in a month. I've really been hovering in a much lower range lately. And it's wild because I had such a good month for views and watch hours and we reached 5,000 unique viewers, but it just doesn't translate to subscriptions. In lifetime, there were no major milestones this month to comment on, and in general, the lifetime stats just kind of pluck along and we're doing just fine. This past monthly period in revenue, I made about $70. That's about $9 for every 1,000 views overall, or about $26 for every 1,000 ad views. And here are the top 5 performing videos this month by revenue. Notably, it is 2 room tours and 2 DVC availability videos. So while my goal of the channel certainly is not revenue, if I wanted to really focus on growing revenue, I think those are strong categories. And lifetime, I am now just shy of $1,475 earned. That's $3.89 for every 1,000 views overall, and $20.65 for every 1,000 ad views. And here is a look at the past 6 months in revenue. You can see here that January really was quite a strong month. I attributed the bump in revenue for November and December to the ad bump for the holiday season. I don't know if that would carry over into January. So yeah, I normally mentally think of the channel as about $40 a month, and we've been exceeding that honestly for the past few months, so that's exciting. Looking at what's ahead, I have no clue. I am so far behind. I won't get too into it, but I am a formally trained scientist and I have kind of carved out my career to try to be a public servant. I am not a federal employee. I want to make that very clear. But my work, and honestly every job I've ever held, is very directly impacted by kind of the overall ecosystem that we're moving through right now. So it's been bad for me. I still have my job right now, but that is rocky for sure. So I've been working, honestly, like 11-hour days, just trying to prove my worth and keep my job. So between overextending myself at work and then the world being so stressful and like terrible, if we're being honest, I just have really not been working on the channel. Like, I'm filming this on the 14th and I have nothing to put out for you next Wednesday. I'm going to try very hard to get something out for you next Wednesday and the Wednesday after, etc. But if there is a small gap, this is why. For members only upcoming content, I did already post like my planning tool for the Disney California Adventure food and wine. I also might make a video for that, we'll see. I do want to give you an update on my Disneyland trip planning in general. And then for the Walt Disney World stuff, maybe that's a bit on hold. If you watched the last members only video on that Walt Disney World / DVC update, you know why, timing wise. But there are some other topics I want to chat about, so I might fill some of the dead time in there. And obviously, whether you're a member or not, always feel free to let me know what you want to see. I am going to try to squeeze out an 11-month look at February for DVC availability from just like a comment request. If you have requests, I do keep those in like a master file. I don't always get around to them, honestly. Like, Peter has a lot of really good suggestions, but they're usually ones that take like quite a lot of focus and brain power to make these like beautiful comparisons across DVC resorts. And I want to do them, and they're on my list, and I'll do them eventually. But when I'm behind like this, I try to go for like slightly easier topics. But regardless of the difficulty of the topic, if there's anything you want to see, please leave a comment down below. I know that officially this is a one-way situation where like I am filming a video and talking at you, but I do want to make it feel a little bit more two-way, more interactive. I try to get back to you in comments. Sorry if I'm slow, it's just life stress. And if you have ideas, I want to try to incorporate those into the channel. And like I said earlier, we will do year 5 wrap-up stats reflections in a separate video. Don't know when that's coming out, hopefully in the next couple weeks. Honestly, I'm not in the best headspace right now to be reflecting too much because, yeah, with everything going on, my life is a little chaotic and pretty unpredictable, and I'm like fairly down in the dumps most of the time, but we are making it through day by day. I hope you're also making it through and February is being kind to you. Thank you again so much for your support of the channel. I super appreciate it. May the rest of your day be magical, and we'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.